like, I guess you won't know until the future, but do you feel like Mike is one of those roles that, like, no matter how much you accomplish, there's so many people that will see you as Mike from Stranger Things for the rest of your life?
And I was just talking to someone about this the other day where I was saying, like, I'm at 100, like, truly, I'm, like, at peace with, because, like, I wouldn't be sitting on this couch if it wasn't for the show. I wouldn't be, like, getting recognized if it wasn't for the show. Like, that is the first thing. And, like, obviously, I do understand, you know, once in a while, obviously, if you're an adult and you're living your life and you keep getting reminded of, like, stuff that you did when you were a kid, I get that. And sometimes I feel that way, but I'm mostly just, like, feel a bit, like, indebted. And I'm, like, I think that's a good thing that I'm, that
you're proud of it.
Yeah. Like, I don't really see the problem with being that kid, because it's like, yeah, that's what got me the job I'm doing right now, you know, or whatever it is. It's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So I don't find it, that, you know, that, to be negative at all. Like, I think it's a really great thing. And I think also, like, so many people have, like, connected with the show and, like, bonded over the show. And, like, I think a lot of families love that show. And it's like, why should I be bummed about, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
The reason why you wanted to do this in the first place was to find community.
Yeah.
Is exactly what something you've helped create is bread.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that has to be such a fulfilling feeling.
Definitely. I think, like, I think that is sort of, like, the pursuit, I guess, maybe of, like, what I'm trying to do is just, like, keep creating those, like, communities.
Do you ever get to take a second step back because you're so busy, but do you ever be like, wow, look at everything I've accomplished already, and I'm like, what, 21, 22 years old? You just go down the list and it's incredible.
Yeah, it is hard to it is, like, hard to think about, because you know, I feel like it's easy to, like, to spin out, like, in that way of, like, it's like you think about it and you're like, oh wow. Like, that was the other day I was talking to my dad, and he was like, oh, it's gonna be, like, a busy year for you. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I truly had no concept, because I just was I was just maybe focused on something else or whatever it was. And he was just like, no, you have this, this, and this, and this. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I am busy. That's crazy. And I'm not even trying to say that in a way of, like, oh man, I did all this stuff, huh? It's more just like, I maybe that's just, like, my way of, like, protecting myself, is just being
totally.
Like, trying to just be like, all right, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, but it is like, yeah, you stay present and, like, it's like
try to,
from A to B to C.
Yeah.
But a part of, like, that protection, you do end up, like, missing a little bit of the journey along the way, or soaking it in.
Oh yeah, that's, like, dude, so many. I mean, especially, like, people that grew up on sets. I'm so, like, I'm so happy that I had my parents that were around all the time, and had, like, friends that I was, like, in the show with and all this stuff. And even then, like, there is stuff developmentally that you miss just by being out of school or out of whatever. So, you know, like, that's something that, like, I try to work on. I don't know how, just by, I guess, just experiencing life and trying to live as best as you can.
Like, showing up's hard, and then being present's even harder. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't go away.
How do you think you're, like, a workaholic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want to work more, literally. And I try to do,
like, you crave it.
Yes. And, like, new ideas, and, like, I do it to kind of mask life, but, like, sometimes it is bad. But
sometimes it's great.
Yes, 100%.
No, I know. That's the hard part. It's just like, is this... No, and you don't... Also, sometimes you don't know till, like, years or months later where you're like, why did I do that?
But, like...
But you don't know when you're doing it. You're just like, I'm just going to do this.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is I'm also afraid, like, I've gotten to this place of, like, oh, I wonder if somebody else is going to take that idea. Or if somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah, you want to jump on it. Jump on the opportunity. Yeah, totally. That's, like, kind of the same thing with the movie, where I just was like... Me and my partner were just like, well, if this doesn't get made, then, like, no one's going to make it. Like, we got to make it. Like, it just was this weird...
You should be so proud.